morning, we want to thank you. We want to appreciate you giving us this chance to have this webinar. As we start, we pray that you give us insights. We pray that you be together with us throughout. We pray for customers' business, that you continue to help them to grow and even to flourish. Even for us as a bank, we pray that, Lord, you continue to guide us through. As we start this session, we pray that, Lord, you be together with us throughout. In Jesus' name, we do pray and give thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. So again, as I was saying, is the sixth webinar that you are running. Thank you, our partners, IFC. Thank you, my colleagues in CoBank for making this possible. And I'm also thank you to my customers who have joined in. I know it has had some impact based on the feedback that you are getting from our branches. And we welcome you to listen all through, because today we have a very exciting topic, just as Sarah said, of doing business online. I think in our last 5 sessions, we have focused more on how, on what, but today we are asking ourselves then how, because we are in a situation now that perhaps you have to think outside the box. And I think that's why we are saying, if you have passed close to your, what I would call the offline shop, how then do you do it from an online perspective? I think that is critical. We have two presenters today. I think we'll be listening to Sarah from IFC, and she introduced herself. But basically, for those who have been here in the last 6 sessions, I think you have had she has a lot of experience, a lot of ideas in terms of how then you can run your business. Thank you, Sarah, and I know you continuously share that today, please. And we have a second presenter from a cooperative bank, who is Peter Kidhaka. Peter Kidhaka is the head of card business, and Peter is the right person, who is actually the person who does what we are now calling the e-commerce. And Peter will come in to share his experience, the channels, and even the ideas that perhaps will impact on to our customers on how then we can be able to increase our sales as we do our businesses online. So just before I would want to also introduce Peter. Peter Ndumia is the head of non-financial services. Peter, thank you also for being on the call and organizing this with Haggai. And I would want to pass it on to Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Moses. It's always such a pleasure to come on board, just to touch base with Cooperative Bank. You have heard from the leaders, and just to continue to add value to the customers of Cooperative Bank. And today we have a very interesting topic to consider, which is how we can do business online. So I know that you have been doing your business, like earlier on, we were speaking to Grace from Kiambu, and we have clients and customers joining us from all over the country. And we know that you have been very, very proficient in running your business in those different areas. But now today, we want to go a step further, and we want to see how we can help you to transform your business for the new normal. Business transformation for the new normal. And this time we're saying we are going online. And this is the appropriate time to do so. So by way of introduction, I just want to just reiterate what Moses has said. This initiative is as a result of a partnership between International Finance Corporation, which is the World Bank, lending arm which is a private sector development arm of the World Bank group. And this is a partnership between IFC and Cooperative Bank. And we have made some progress and some strides. As Moses has said, this is the 6th session that we are having, where we are bringing you as customers just to share some experiences, some tips and ideas that can help us during this COVID, as we navigate through the COVID-19 pandemic. So I want to recognize some officials who I'm seeing have joined us from IFC. I recognize the presence of Stella Masinde, Karibu Sana. I recognize the presence of Millicent Ndolo. Millicent, Karibu Sana. And over and above that, we have what we call the technical team. And the technical team is made up of 3 people. Myself, I'm not new to this family, but just in case there's somebody who is joining us for the first time today, my name is Sarah. Sarah Mbinji, and I'm also a business person, just like you. And I've been at this for the last 24 years, and I have 2 businesses that I'm running. One in consulting and training for the last 20 years. We were born on 8th of August, the year 2000. And a big part of what I do is just to strengthen organizations, to help organizations to strengthen their value chain. And that's where you come in. So we have a lot of experience working with SMEs. And what we are telling you, what we have been telling you, sio kubahatisha. Hii ndio ukweli wa mambo. And as we navigate the COVID, era and the dispensation, we are actually in it together. I am an IFC certified instructional designer, and that basically just means that I help to develop content, to customize it, to localize it, so that it can make sense, so that you can understand it as an SME, owner. I'm also an IFC certified trainer, and I've been doing this for a long time. And that's how I met my friend Fatma. I'm going to give an opportunity to introduce herself in the next short while. And I'm also a certified business mentor with ILO. And I'm happy to be on board. Fatma, I want to hand over to you, ask you to switch on your camera, and just to do a short, brief introduction. Karibu sana, Fatma.
I thought my camera was on. Good afternoon, wafanyi biashara. It is always a pleasure to be here and to share experiences and to make sure that we are all going on this journey together and we are growing together. As Sarah said, my name is Fatma. I am a master trainer with IFC, and my business is to assist organizations like you to grow. I have been in this industry for the last 15 years, and 11 of which I am with IFC. I'm a certified mentor and business coach with the Sherry Flair Foundation. Karibuni, asante sana, Sarah.
Asante sana. Thank you very much, Fatma. And the third person is Haggai. The voice of Haggai is the one who was helping you to navigate through the systems, and he'll be helping us with the technical aspects of this webinar. And so without wasting any more time, I would like to ask that you kindly go to the chat box and please tell us. It's very important for Fatma and I and Haggai to understand what is your expectation. And I know that we are joining in from different parts of the country and perhaps even also from outside of the country. And I know that you dropped your very important things to join us for a reason. So now that you heard that we're talking about online marketing, what is your expectation? Please go to the chat box and write that down. And as you do so, it's important for me to mention to you that this session is being recorded. It is being recorded for quality control purposes. Welcome those of us joining from WebEx, and also welcome those who are joining us from the YouTube channel. Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of it? Fatma, do you see any feedback?
Oh, yes. Somebody's telling me that they would like to learn and they would like to see how they can make their business grow through online presence, and also how are they able to market without any, at least minimal resources. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fatma, for that. Let me cross over to the YouTube channel. Haggai, do you see any expectations that our participants have?
Nothing yet, Sarah. Thanks.
Thank you so much. But I know they came expectant, and I hope that I will be able to answer some of their questions and the reason why they have come on board. So we all know that we are going through the COVID-19 pandemic. And the COVID-19 global pandemic has affected all of us, with no exception. All of us have been affected. Here in Nairobi, in Kiambu, in Mombasa, in Ukunda, everywhere across the board. And we have seen, especially in the SME sector, we are the most affected in one way or another. And we have actually seen businesses really suffering, and some of them have really, crashed down, and this is the purpose of this webinar, so that we can encourage you. We can share different ideas of how you can resuscitate your business, so to speak. Why do I say that? Because businesses that are not making it, especially during this time of the COVID-19, it's not because they're bad businesses. It's all because they're not able to sell. They're not able to get money into the business. And we know that all businesses have been positioned in the marketplace to respond to a certain customer. There's a customer out there in the market who needs some services, who needs some products. And so for we as business people, we position ourselves and become players in that market to provide solutions. We are the solution providers to the need that a customer has out there in the market. Now, we've been doing our business wonderfully. And for that, I clap my hands and I congratulate you or where you have reached, because I know it's not easy, because I'm a business person myself. But now with the entrance of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have all been affected. There are issues of physical distancing. And this physical distancing has affected us as business people because our clients are no longer able to come to our business premises. And depending on the kind of business that you're doing, even if they are coming, even if your doors are open, the traffic has slowed down. And we all know this. So if there are less people coming to your business premises, it means that the chances of you being able to remove the shilling from their pocket, the chances of them buying from you are less. And this has pushed down demand, and it has affected us as business people. We know that our customers have also been affected. Some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them they have suffered salary cuts and so on. So that reduced demand. I mean, if your customer has less purchasing power, it means that it's going to affect your business because people have smaller budgets to deal with. And now with COVID-19, yes, we recognize that, the recent announcement that our president gave us, now inter-county movement has been opened up, but we still know it's not business as usual. It's going to take time for people to pick up. They're still anxious. They're still apprehensive. We're not able just to jump, to bounce back. There's still a lot of, hesitation. And these are the realities of COVID. Even if customers, okay, fine, we do have our curfew and the curfew will continue to operate. If the curfew was not there, depending on the kind of business that you're doing, we were still able somehow to service those orders. But now the fact that we are not able to have enough time, enough resources to be able to service those orders because of the impositions of the curfew and so on, it has actually slowed down business. And that's a reality. So what we want to focus on today is what options do we have available? Why? Because we need to continue to sell. Now, if we're selling online, there are some statistics that you need to see clearly as a business person. And I want to take you through a very recent research that was done. And this opens our eyes to see the digital space. I know you have been doing your business very successfully, face-to-face with the customer and so on, but now things have changed. And now we are saying we need to go online. So if we're saying then that we need to go online, these statistics are very important. We all know that we have a total world population of about 7.8 billion. And out of that 7.8 billion human beings, we are told that 55% of them have been urbanized, meaning they live in cities. The next important statistic for you as a business person to know is the uniqueness of mobile phone users. And here in Kenya, we don't even have to be told that, because almost everybody are told that about 80% of Kenyans have a cell phone, a mobile phone that they can use to transact. And we are told, according to the statistics, that the number of people worldwide, globally, who have access to a mobile phone which they can use to do one thing or another is 5 billion. So we are talking about 66% penetration into the cyberspace, so to speak. Another very interesting statistic here is we are being told something about internet users. This is somebody who just goes into the internet to look for one thing or another. We are told globally that people who get into the internet looking for one thing or another stand at 4.5 billion human beings are in the internet looking for one thing or another. Almost 60% penetration. Then we are also told something very interesting about social media users. Now, these are not people who just get into the internet because they're looking for, maybe even sometimes Wikipedia. Somebody just wants to find out what is the meaning of this, and they go into the internet, or they're looking for some. These are active social media users, and they stand at 3.8 billion human beings very active in social media. Those are very important statistics for us to understand and appreciate, so that we can position our businesses to get into that digital space, that marketplace. I know you're familiar with your marketplace there, Kiambu, maybe if you go to Nairobi, maybe Mombasa, Nini, but now there's another plane. There's another market that we as business people need to open our eyes to see and get into that space, because that's where people are spending right now. So I want us to start off by asking you a question, and this question will open your eyes to see the growth in online buying. And what our objective is to identify the changes in online buying habits of people since COVID-19 came. Now, worldwide, I've given you the statistics in the previous slide, and I would like to ask you a question. Out of those three categories, A being food and groceries, B being entertainment, and C being personal care products, which category do you think has seen the greatest increase in online sales since the pandemic? I invite you to go to the chat box and just talk to me. Do you think, is it A, is it B, is it C, in your opinion? What do you think? Question is, which category, is it A, B, or C, do you think has seen the greatest increase in online sales? What do you think? Fatma, any thoughts?
Yes, I am getting, I'm getting all three. The first one is telling me groceries and food, and the other person is telling me entertainment, Netflix and things like that.
Okay, it would be helpful for us to know who those people are. I know they have names, so that we appreciate them. So let me cross over to Haggai.
Sorry, Sarah.
Yes,
sorry, Sarah. Some of this information has been given privately. But I have Dr. Nicholas. He's telling me, in his opinion, he thinks it's a B, which is entertainment. And then Caroline tells me it is A, that is groceries or personal care products.
Thank you so much for that. Let me cross over to Haggai. Haggai, what are the YouTube channel members telling us?
Thanks, Sarah. YouTube, I see we have 50 plus people. Rose Kangele, groceries, Global Link, groceries, Lois, groceries, Aika, groceries, Matthew, groceries, Kadika, groceries, Elizabeth, groceries, Alice, groceries, Marilyn, grocery, B, which is entertainment. Over to you, Sarah.
Awesome. That's a nice sample of what we are thinking people have been buying, globally. And maybe I would twist the question and ask you, since life locked down and we were asked, stay safe and stay home, what have you been buying the most? Maybe that's a question which I would ask. Now, this next slide will help us to understand what the global trends look like. And this is as recent as April 2020. And this is the percentage who say that they were shopping more. I know people have been consuming Netflix even before, but the question was more. Percentage who say they are shopping more online for each type. So when you look at those graphs, you can see that these are increases. What we're saying is there's been a general increase in online shopping across the board. But this is what I find quite interesting. Which categories are we talking about? As we can see there, food and groceries, that is the biggest, that has been the biggest spender for all of us across the board. I mean, schools closed, our children are there at home, and then with restrictions in travel and so on, and now with priority spending, we are seeing that now, although I cannot move to Tuskys, I can't move to Naivas, Carrefour, Quickmart, and so on, I can do that online. And that's what the trends are showing, that most people have been spending on food and groceries. Then, of course, there's also things like personal care, products. There's things like clothing, believe it or not, Like now people are restricted indoors. So if you're in the clothing business, I want to tell you that people are buying. Let nobody fool you. Then there's entertainment. I think somebody told us about Netflix. Then there's cosmetics and beauty products. People have now seen, you see, when COVID came along and we're told, please stay safe and stay home, we asked ourselves, so why do we need our makeup? But now that we are continuing to transact online, in fact, studies have told us, even in China, that now they're giving lessons, and now they're selling more beauty products so that you can make yourself from here going upwards. So they're seeing there's an increase in chocolate, even chocolate, treats for self, because people are, they're depressed, anxious, they're trying to, to the effects of the stresses of COVID. So what we can see from here is that there's been a general increase in online shopping. But my question was, which one do you think is the biggest spender? And the answer there is food and groceries. And I think quite a number of you got that right. Very interesting trends here. So what do we want to talk about? In the next few minutes in this webinar, we are going to focus on just 3 key things. Number 1, for you as a business person, we are saying that we are helping you to transform your business. We are looking at the transformation of your business so that you become a bigger player in the online market. Because if you don't sell, if you don't position yourself somewhere in the digital, in the cyber space where we can see you, when we're making decisions of spending, we don't have you in mind. And if we don't have you in mind, you're not going to be able to get a share of the shilling from my wallet. So what we're saying is we need to move digital. We have to move online. But the 3 things that I want to answer to you in this webinar is, number 1, maybe you're asking yourself, where, Sarah, where can I go and sell? You're telling me to go online. Where? That's why I'm here, to answer that question. Number 3, when you are positioning yourself to go online, Remember, what we are targeting at the end of the day is that shilling. So if we are targeting that shilling, how will your customers pay for those goods or services that you are offering? And then number 3, how will you deliver? How will you deliver those products or those services? Those are the 3 things that I want to focus on in our webinar this afternoon. At the end of this webinar, you will at least be very on 3 options, at least 3 options that you have so that you can immediately begin to sell online. Okay? We want to, by the end of this webinar, you should be very clear on what are some of the things that you can do to enable your customers to pay you online, even if you don't see them. And number 3, we want to look at 3 options that are available. There are many, but less is more. That's why I keep saying 3, 3, 3. If you can remember those 3, we are good to go. 3 options of how you can deliver to your customer. Not just deliver, but safely. Those are the 3 things that we want to focus on. Now, we have, when we talk about digital, there are so many things that we can say, but we have put these things and condensed them into 2 webinars. So when we're talking about digital, selling and digital marketing, we're basically talking about 2 webinars. The first one, which is what we are doing today, is we want to help you to do your business online, to transition. So I'm not here to tell you, these are the nitty-gritties of how to do your website and so on. I want you to open your mind to see the possibilities that exist out there. And I know the statistics have already begun to speak to you. We want to see how you can expand your sales. Yes, you have your existing customers, and we already know that there's a challenge in you reaching those existing customers and them continuing to buy from you. But now we want to expand our sales to another category by getting into another marketplace, which we are calling the online market. So the purpose of today's training is to help you as a business person to get ideas on how you can sell on the internet. Then the second webinar we are going to have following this one, or continuing to this particular one, is to help you as a business person to know how to market your business online. So when we talk about social media, I've shown you the statistics. We're talking about almost 4 billion people who are active users of social media. So how can you use social media to your advantage to attract customers? That's what we're going to talk about in the next session. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is you need to make a sale, and you need to have that anointing to remove money from people's pockets and put it in your pocket. And those are some of the things that we want to talk about today. How will this webinar help you? Number 1, it will help you to adjust your business to the current crisis. With all that's going on, the restrictions, we've seen the social distancing and the focus on our well-being, our health, and so on. So how can you adapt your business in the current crisis? Number 2, how can you sell online? So we are saying there's a way that you can expand your sales by going into an online market. So how do you do that? That's what this webinar is all about. And then we want to help you to become a player in that online marketplace, and to help you, at least give you the basics, class 101 of how to navigate in the digital landscape. So that's what this webinar is going to do for you. Some ground rules. Please, let's participate. When we ask you, please go to the chat box and please talk to us. You see, because I can't see you, I know you can see me, but we are separated by distance here. Where we meet is at the chat box. So when we ask you, please just talk to us through the chat box. Please just drop down your thoughts, your questions, and let's engage there. That's what I'm calling participation. We're going to talk about many things. Some of them may apply to you, some of them may not apply to you. Like, for instance, I know we have already started taking strides in selling online. but some of us haven't. And so, for the sake of those who are green at this thing and they're trying to discover how to go about this or how to enhance this, please, let's just respect each other. Just listen with a big ear, pack down whatever you pick out of this, and you never know, it will help you. It may help you tomorrow, or if not you, it may help you to explain something to somebody else who can benefit. Thirdly, let's mute our microphones. I'll ask Haggai, please identify where that feedback is coming from. Please mute that mic, but thank you so much for your cooperation. I'm not hearing a lot of feedback in the background. And also have your pen and paper, and just feel free to take down notes as we go along. Now, when we talk about digital transformation, we are saying here that selling online is not a business objective. It's not one of your business objectives. Look, you went into business because you wanted to provide a solution to some customers who are in the marketplace. Those customers need a service. Those customers need a product. So what is your business doing? You come up with certain goals or certain objectives that you want to advance in your business. What are my goals of how I'm going to reach my customers and provide that good or a service? That's what we're calling your business model. So your business model or objective is not just about online sales. Online selling is just a platform to accelerate, to help you to achieve your business objectives. That's why we have that at the apex of that triangle, pyramid. Then lower, after you have figured out what your business objectives are, you need to execute them. And when you think about execution, there are certain things that you're going to do within the organization, ndani ya biashara yako. And that's what we are calling an operating model. How are you going to operate internally? So for example, we are saying internally there, when I'm talking about digital, you see, we're talking about digital transformation. Maybe I need some kind of software that will help me to operate internally and to make it easy for me to do the business that I'm doing. So for example, that's why we're saying you'll have this maybe accounting softwares, maybe the enterprise resource planning systems, the ERPs, maybe you're even doing cloud computing. All that is good enough. That's what we are calling digital transformation. Those are internal. But now your business lives. It exists to create a certain solution to somebody out there. So that's why we're saying you need to go to the market. As part of your execution goals, you need to be able to go out into the market. And that's why I was commending you. You have done a good job in going out into the market. But that's what we are calling a traditional market. But now there's another market where selling is going on. And that market is out there. And the $1 million question is, what are you doing to get into that space? And that's why we're saying, as you think about making execution easier, we will blur off all those other aspects that have disappeared. And for the purposes of today's webinar, we want to focus on how external and how you can enhance your going out into the market by using technology to your advantage. So we're going to discuss some digital marketing channels. Are there apps? Are there certain applications that I can use that will help me to go out into the market? Are there certain websites? Are there social, when we talk about social media, what are we talking about? And how can I use that to help me to catapult me into the market? There is another invisible market called the digital market, and you need to get in there and expand your sales. And that's what this webinar is talking about. So now that we are clear, I think we are all converted that it's business unusual and that there is another market that exists and people are making money out there. How can you as a business person become a player in that space? So maybe what you're asking is, where will I sell? I'm converted, Sarah. I believe I need to get out there. But now where? That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm here to answer. So there are two worlds. And these two worlds exist. The traditional world, as you've always known it to be, and then there's another world out there. And that's what Fatma and I want to help you to see so that you can expand your sales. Now, these worlds are similar. They are actually very similar. We're saying you as a business person, you exist to provide a certain good, some certain products, a certain service to a customer who exists outside there. Now, how do you do it? You can do it through a third party. Kwa mfano, I have some cakes that I'm selling. I bake the cakes. In fact, now in COVID, somebody was telling me, things have changed in my business, but I have a skill. I love to bake. Or maybe that was your business, initially. So now you bake those cakes. Wonderful. You package them, you brand them. Now you need to get them out there to a customer who needs them. So what do? You have these three dukas. Maybe you go and you explore the opportunities of Naivas selling those cakes for you, or maybe Tuskys, or maybe Carrefour, or maybe Quickmart. Those are the shops that we have been using. I have my cakes. I go and I get them to display my cakes in their shops. Why? Because that's where the customer is frequenting. Now, this world is what we've been used to doing. You sell your furniture. For example, Grace told us she's selling furniture. How does she get them to that customer? How do you're providing services. How do you get those services? Out there. So just the same way I would take my products, my clothes, my shoes, whatever it is that I'm selling, and I identify these business partners. This is a business partner who will help you to push your sale to the end consumer, who is your customer. The same way we have been doing it on the left of your screen is the same way we can now do it on the right, what we are calling online platforms. Online platforms. So this is not a duka which I can see. I can drive and I know this is where to find it. But it exists. It's an online duka. That's what we are calling an online platform. And the way I would display my eggs, my shoes, my clothes, my cosmetics in a supermarket, for example, for a customer to see is the same way a customer will be able to see that on the digital plane. For example, if I can use that same example of the queen cakes or the cakes that I'm making, I can go through, I can get into a partnership with another business who is Uber Eats and display my cakes on Uber Eats. A customer out there who wants a cake will see that cake that I'm selling in Uber Eats and then order for that product. So it is a win-to-win. It is a win-win scenario. I can go into a partnership with Jumia, and Jumia will tell me, okay, Sarah, you want to sell cakes? Yes. Okay, we are going to give you space in our duka. We're going to give you a page where you can display the cakes that you're selling. That cake will attract a customer because people are now doing online buying. So when they're doing online buying, they will go into sites such as the ones you see there in front of you, Amazon, eBay, Uber, Jumia, and they will get that cake displayed there, and then we manage to sell it. It could be Kilimall, it could be anywhere. This is just an example. So what we're saying, where do you sell? You have an option of getting into a partnership with another business, what we are calling business to business, where you work together to reach that customer out there. Now, the other option is you can decide, I want to go into Facebook, for example. That's what we are calling the second option, where you sell through social media. Now, when we talk about social media, It's not just Facebook. It's Facebook. It is WhatsApp. I know as business people are members of WhatsApp groups. So you're using that forum of WhatsApp to look for a customer who is out there. You have a direct contact. You see, in the first case, where we are going through the 3 shops that you can see there, I don't have control over the customer. Who has control of the customer? The middleman, those people there. So I never know who that customer is. All I know is that Uber Eats will order a certain number of cakes, and where they deliver, I have no idea who that customer is. In terms of getting feedback, I don't know. I'm in the dark. The second option here through social media gives you an opportunity to touch base. This is what we're calling B2C. The first one was B2B, business to business selling. The next, what we're talking about here is B2C, business to customer. So here now, I have my customer, maybe through Facebook, maybe through WhatsApp, maybe through, some of us have used our WhatsApp private numbers. Until now, we are thinking, no, let me do WhatsApp for business. Yeah, so you have your WhatsApp for business, where you now just focus on your business leads and, you know, servicing those orders and so on. We have Instagram. Instagram is part of social media. Yesterday, I was seeing my daughter purchasing some metal straws, and she was telling me, Mom, there are all these pictures. This is what I want, Nini. So people are selling through social media, through Instagram, through WhatsApp, through LinkedIn can become another channel that you can use to bring customers to you. So what are we saying here? You need to be intentional about this online market that exists. Here, in the second option, you have direct contact with the customer. And what people are doing, even if you look at Facebook and all these other places, people are focusing on the experience. So here is where you look for an influencer. I have had people calling me and telling me, Sarah, so you have your WhatsApp groups there in the estate. Why don't you just say something about these cakes that I'm selling to you? And people use those avenues. These you have influencers who can help you to convince a customer out there so that they can buy your products. People are saying, I love this skincare product. My son has always had asthma. He's always had a very terrible skin, but now I'm able to, once I use this product, it cleared. These are the health benefits. Those are now what we're calling influencers. You now have control over who that customer is, to influence them. In the first case, you don't know who your customer is, you're not able to influence them. Those customers belong to that third-party partner. But here, you're able to share that experience. This shoe, when I wore this shoe, this is the ultimate in comfort. I can walk around and I won't get tired, I won't get blisters. That's what people are doing on Facebook so that they can sell more. The other option here is where now you have direct control over everything, where you now set up a website. Now, if I asked how many of us have websites, I know, I can bet that not many of us have websites. So what guides you into selecting which channel you're going to use? If you have, for example, if I had a bakery, and in this bakery, I'm producing cakes, maybe croissants, maybe some pastries and so on. Then it would make sense for me to have a website where now I put all my products and services, the many different products and services that I'm dealing with. It will now make sense for me to have a website. So in the website, I now have complete control over everything. In the first case, where I am getting into a partnership with, say, Uber Eats or maybe Glovo, helps me to sell, through the global app, they'll be able to see where to get maybe some groceries from, and Glovo will bring it to me. In terms of what I pocket as a business person, I can't pocket everything because I have to share something with Glovo. I have to share the sale, a commission to that middle person, that third party. And the same case also goes with Facebook. But here where I have control of my website, if I'm selling those queen cakes for 100 shillings, there is no sharing 30 shillings to go to another partner in terms of commissions. I get everything. 3 options that we have available. Now let's look at each one of them. When we talk about the marketplaces, what are the benefits? Because what will guide you as a business person? Maybe you're asking me, Sarah, should I sell through social media, or should I sell through online platforms, or should I sell through directly on the website? These are some considerations, pros and cons that you can think about. Let's go through them systematically. 1, online places, Amazons, the Uber Eats, the Jumia, Kilimall, and the rest of them. Number 1 advantage is that you can begin to do it immediately. It is quick and easy to set up. All you need to do is to go, get a page, and then it will guide you. Write this here, post this picture here, and so on. Easy to set up, and you can get visibility. Remember, if we can't see you, we don't know what you're selling, we don't know what you're supplying. When we're making decisions, we don't have you in mind. So this is quick and easy. You can now you can become visible, and you can increase your chances to sell. Secondly, there's reduced effort. You don't have a marketing budget, sales, distribution. How am I going to distribute this? That is the headache of a business that you're partnering with, and they will market. They already have a large pool of customers, trusting customers that frequent those sites. I'm looking for something. Where do I go? Jumia. And those customers are there, and they're looking for things. So when you're there, you can now be seen, and that customer can buy from you. And there's a targeted audience. Those are the advantages. What are the disadvantages? As I said, you'll need to share kitu kidogo with that middle person, because you're using their platform, you're using their customers, and so on. So you'll need to share the commissions with them. Number 2, you have limited control over display. You only have a small page, a small space where you can sell your products or services. And there's also much direct competition. So I have my cakes, I'm Jumia, can you please display my cakes? And they say yes, but there are cakes from Sarah, there are cakes from Fatma, there are cakes from, all over the place. So that now sort of confuses the client. And I was targeting them, but they may end up becoming Fatma's customers. So that becomes a disadvantage of using, I know Fatma, yeah, it would be nice also if they're your customers, but that's a disadvantage, that exists. Now, let's look at the next, option that we have available. Now, Now, this is now you have a business, your business to customer. You have a direct link and contact with the customer through Facebook, through WhatsApp, through Instagram, through YouTube, things like that. So what are the benefits? Number 1, again, easy to set up. Number 2, another advantage, large market of potential customers, attractive business now to the customer. You're able to make business to customer sales directly to your customer. And then it is easy, as I said, to use those influencers, those brand ambassadors to sell the gospel of your products or your services. So that's an advantage for you. What are the disadvantages? I have limited control over display. Again, it's easy to get lost in the crowd because I'm in Facebook. Do you remember the statistics I showed you? How many billion people are sifting through information, going through information in Facebook? That means that you need to make your offering very attractive. And that's why we're saying that there's a high need for interesting content. It has to grab the eye of those millions of people who are looking for one thing or another platform. And then fourth, another disadvantage is need to frequently refresh the content. They say that the shelf life of a product or service in Facebook is 6 hours. After 6 hours, so many other things have happened. So many other people are trying to sell their. And after 6 hours, that post that you made has now come to the tail end of the face of Facebook. So that's advantage. You know, you need to keep on creating content. You need to keep on refreshing so that you can be at the topmost of these users, these eyes that are looking for one thing or another in the internet. Now let's look at the option where you have your own website, personalized website. What are the benefits? Number one, you enhance credibility for your business. There's nothing like, there was some order, we were not able to get these orders, or maybe somebody says, we don't have this, but we also have this. Here you have enhanced credibility of your customers. In terms of disappointments, you're going to know, you're going to be able to fix it and so on, and you don't have control over that in the previous two options. The other advantage, 100% over control over the content. Content yote ni yako, the operations of the website are yours, and when you sell, you get everything. Every coin comes directly into your pocket. Those are the advantages. What about the disadvantages? When you have a website, you need to think about web design. And it's very important that you design your website to be attractive. Remember, you're getting into a digital marketplace out there. And so it's not just about creating a website for the sake of it, because it has to attract people. And when you do it a shoddy job, that's the branding we have about your business. So it's, that one is not serious. So you have to take your time and get a proper, get engaged, consultants who will help you to design, to maintain, to track how many hits, how many people, what do they need? So in terms of data analytics skills, in terms of payment and distribution responsibilities, that now becomes a disadvantage for us. But I'll show you how you can mitigate some of this. And then it is hard to attract viewers to your site. Remember, those viewers are already going to Jumia, they're already going to Facebook, they're already going into YouTube and so on. So what are you going to do as a business person to attract them to your website? So those are the 3 channels that are available to you as a business person. So maybe you're asking, Sarah, which one? Which is the best? What would you suggest? It all depends on the give and take, the trade-offs. For example, you use a B2B, business to business, partnership so that you can sell, there's ease of use, there's speed, there's market exposure. People can see you immediately, even for the social media. But what is the disadvantage? You lose control. You lose control over what they can, post out there. You lose control in terms of credibility. In fact, in the first case, you don't even have direct contact with your customers. And of course, also, when you opt to go route 1 or 2, which is B2B and B2C sales, of course, you lose a portion of your revenue because you have to share with those, partners. So what we are saying here is, our dear participants, you need to go online. And there are some things that you're going to be able to do in the short term, quickly, immediately. Like use a third-party app, go into online, into the online market, explore things like, Glovo, Jumia, Uber Eats, Kilimall, and so on. And then you also need to think about, what are some of the things that I can do more in the long term? Now that I've understood what the benefits of a website are, I think I need to focus on this. Let me just take my time. Let me immediately, you see, the thing is that you're selling, you have an online presence. You have an online presence already, but that is short term. In the long term, you may think of creating a website. You may think of creating other pages and sites and linking your website to others, so that you can increase the traffic and a few other things. So those are the things that you need to consider. Now, I have a question for you. Please go to the chat box and tell me, what sales channels are you currently using to buy? I know you're buying one thing or another. What sales channel, through which sales channel do you currently, which sales channel are you using to buy when you need to buy something? Please go to the chat box and tell us, how are you buying online? Do you see anything?
Yes, I
How are
have
people buying?
Amazon. I have Amazon and I have Jumia.
So you need something, you go into Amazon, you order, and it will be brought to you. Let me cross over to Haggai. Haggai, what sales channels are people using?
Sarah, not yet, but I see one comment on WebEx. Evelyn saying Facebook.
Facebook. Awesome. So if you're using Facebook, maybe you're using your personal page, I would encourage you to upscale it and get a business page, especially after these discussions. Now, we want to focus on something else. At the end of the day, it's not just about selling. In the past, we used to sell, then we say, okay, customer, I can give you 30 days, you pay. In COVID-19, that shilling, that sale that you have made, you need to bring it into your pocket, your bank account, your M-Pesa in the shortest time possible. So how will your customers pay? I've shown you which channels you can use, but the bottom line is that extra shilling. Now, these are some of the things that you would need to consider. For example, if the payment option is through credit cards, you want your customer to, they want a certain product or a service that you're offering, you can allow them to pay through the credit card, for example. Now, the things that you need to think about is, how will you protect the privacy of the transaction? We have heard of a lot of cyber crime and so on. So these are things that you need to consider. What service fees are you going to charge? If it is a direct bank withdrawal, nowadays we have a lot of online banking platforms, and that's what Moses keeps telling us every time we have these webinars. He's making it easy. He's opening your eyes to see that you can actually move your business to the next level by using this online platform. So where it is a direct bank withdrawal, what commission are you going to pay? For these payment services? When we are buying something, the first thing we're asked is, are you paying cash? Are you paying through M-Pesa, or are you paying through a card? Why? Because of this commission. Then is it, if it is a third party site, so for example, I want to sell through my website, but I don't have a payment mode, I can route my customers through the same Jumia, and Jumia has Jumia has the apps that will help a customer out there to pay easily, and then they'll route the money back to you. So what we're saying there is you have to think about parting with some money in terms of commission. Then, of course, there's mobile money transactions, M-Pesa. This is our own Kenyan innovation, and it's really helping us, especially during this time of COVID. And the question you're asking is, what percentage of my customers feel comfortable to use mobile money? And I think the answer here is everyone, because now we are discouraging a lot of cash handling because of the risks of transmission of COVID. So here we'll not even look at cash on delivery. Hapo tulitoka huko. But on delivery, you can still do the M-Pesa. You can still allow your customers to finish the sale by paying on using the M-Pesa. Then, of course, there's also the credit card. Here you're asking yourself, how can I protect myself? Those are my customers from security, you know, from this cyber fraudsters, basically. So these are some of the things that you need to ask yourself, and you get answers to that. My question to you is, which payment option are you currently using at the moment? Please go to the chat box and tell us which payment options. How are you? I know you're ordering online. How are you paying? Fatma?
M-Pesa, PayPal, and I am waiting for others to come through. I'm getting a lot more of M-Pesa though.
So there's M-Pesa, there's also
And
PayPal. PayPal is more common in other parts of the in other parts of the world. In some places, no presence. I was trying to buy some goods from Ethiopia the other day, and they were saying, no, we don't use PayPal. So it depends on the kind of business that you that you do. Basically, I think some of this, you know, even entertainment apps, they allow you to complete the transaction through PayPal.
Sarah,
Hagai?
sorry, Sarah, I also have credit cards and I also have PesaLink.
Okay, so you're using your credit cards and you also have PesaLink. Hagai, do we have any feedback
Yes.
from YouTube?
Yes, indeed. So Dalma's card option, Patrick, M-Pesa, PayPal, Marilyn, M-Pesa, Visa, MasterCard, Patrick, debit cards, Maxton, M-Pesa, PayPal, credit, and lastly, Elizabeth, M-Pesa, deposit direct to bank account. Over to you, Sarah.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Hagai, for that. Thank you, our participants, both on YouTube and also WebEx. And you're telling me that when you need to buy a certain good or service, you're able to complete the payment through now the options that you're giving me. Now, I want to challenge you as a business person. You also need to make it easy. You need to come up with options, give the customer options so that they can complete the sale transaction by paying you. The last thing we want to focus on is how you will deliver. How will you deliver on those products or services? Now, a customer has already bought and you need to get those products to them. One of the options that you have available is through shipping agencies, FedEx, DHL. Those are shipping agents. So you'd ask yourself, which is the best shipper to use to get these items to my customer? So for example, Fatma was telling me that she never thought it was possible. There's somebody who is selling samosas. There's somebody who is preparing samosas. Is it in Lamu or Mombasa?
Samosas in Malindi and fish of all the places in Machakos.
Our participants, do you hear that? There are people who are doing this from out there. Now, what we're saying is that if that was you, you need to figure out what is the safest way of shipping my samosas or mandazis to my customer who's sitting in Nairobi. These are some of the things we're asking. And then we're asking, will you offer free shipping within a certain radius? There are people who say, ukinunua, if you're within the radius of town, free delivery. If outside of town, we'll charge you kitu kidogo. The other option, online only. And this is very conducive for those of us who are service providers. Like right now, I'm providing a service to you. So what delivery platform am I using? WebEx. Another one you can use. Another one you can use. MS Teams. Another one you Zoom. Another one you can use Google Meet. Those are the delivery channels that you are using. Now, these are some of the questions then you would need to ask yourself. Which online method best work for me? And how will I ensure privacy and security? We have seen schools attempting to do online learning, e-learning, and heard about hackers in Zoom, hackers getting into the classroom and sharing content that the trainer was not intending to share. So these issues of privacy and security are things that you need to consider. And I know some of you have been asking, maybe Haggai or Kopbank, why don't you do these things through Zoom? You don't do them through Zoom because of privacy and security. That's why you've never encountered a single incident of hacking. Another option, an option you may think of is pickup points. Jumia has pickup points. You may also, the other day I was promoting a business lady in Inyata Market, and she was selling some nice little somehow shoes made of wool, and they keep our feet very warm right now. I was talking to Amos and he was telling me it's cold in Mombasa, it's colder in Nairobi. And so she made the sale. I bought from her and she was asking me, how do I get these things to you? I told her, just deliver them in a certain shop in here. I'll get them. That's how contact us now during COVID. And then the most popular delivery option for us as Kenyans right now is delivery and courier services. That's the most famous option, which brings the things to our doorsteps. So you're asking yourself, how much will I charge? And there are people who say, okay, utalipa tu kitu kidogo, 100, 200 shillings, and that's fine. You need to think about that as a business person. And will you offer free delivery within a certain distance? I've seen people bringing, oranges and foodstuffs and so on, and they say, no, this one is for free because you're in this particular area. So those are some of the things that I'm asking your question again. Go to the chat box, and the question is, which method are you using most often to deliver your offerings, whether they are products or services? Please go to the chat box and tell us, what are you using? Fatma, do you see anything?
Yes, I liked what Caroline said. You can also use Sandy and Securico. And the reason is that they are very reliable and they keep promises and they have good prices. So basically, it's a couriers that she's using.
Reliable, quality, keeping their promises. So we are saying that you need to sell, but you need to identify a partner. When you're identifying that business partner, you want to consider those things that Caro is talking about so that you don't drop the ball in the middle because of a third party. Haggai, do you see anything from your end?
Not yet, Sarah. Not yet.
Okay. So what we're saying is, to complete the sale, you need to figure out, how am I going to deliver? And I've given you examples. If you're offering services, I've given you examples. If you're offering products, I've given you examples. And so we've come to the end of our webinar. And what we are saying is, we are here to help you so that you can get into the digital marketing space. Get in there. It's not for any special people. It's for people of flesh and blood, just like you. You need to reach out, get into those markets and get that extra shilling. And there's some things you can do on a short-term basis. And maybe you're asking me, what? Get up and running, plug into either B2B or B2C. As I told you in the beginning, start crafting content, start building awareness. And the next course we're going to look at is a very interesting one. And I'll tell you shortly about some of the things we're going to look at. Now, in terms of help, who do you need to look for? These marketplace consultants. Maybe you can look for these college interns. Everybody's looking for an extra shilling or a coin. They're also, you need to think about in the long term, what am I going to do? I'm thinking of having my website. Then I need to have a digital strategy. How am I gonna penetrate the market? Remember those statistics that I shared to you in the beginning. Those are not small numbers. That's where all the eyes are, and that's where the money is flowing right now. So you need to have a digital strategy, And not only have it, but you need to implement that strategy. And what help do you have? Look at some of these recent graduates. Look at these strategists and experts, and they can help you so that you come up with a comprehensive plan of how you can get into what we're calling digital marketing. So what did we hope to do? 3 things that we wanted us to understand. We're saying go into online marketing. But the question is, where do I sell? How will I get my customers to pay? And how will I deliver? And we say that at the end of this webinar, you should be very clear in your mind when it comes to where to sell. What options do I have available? By way of revision, you can use an online platform. That's what we are calling business to business, kind of a partner. Secondly, you can use a business to customer model, which we are calling selling through social media, and then you can sell on your own. And that's what we're saying. I'm going at it alone. That's and I'm doing it through my website, which is also an online platform. And then secondly, we said that you should be able to describe payment options. Which payment options do I have? M-Pesa, online banking, credit cards. Those are some examples that you have available. And then we wanted to see that, we want to be able to list 3 options of how we can deliver and deliver safely. What are those options? I can use a shipping company. I can deliver through courier. I can deliver through online only, which is especially for us in the service sector. And there's also the pickups. So, but I think the most popular, so those options are available to you. Now, take a minute and just think about what is the big thing that you have learned today. Or have I just been blowing hot air? Please go to the chat box and tell us one key learning that you have received that will help you to now kick away your fears. You now know how to do it and to start selling online. Please go to the chat box and talk to us there. Okay, Fatma, do you see anything?
Yes, Carolyn tells us the importance of going digital now and moving forward.
The what?
It is important for us to go digital moving forward. There are new opportunities that can generate revenue. And she's also giving us advice that you can also go to Google Africa. They have some further studies on how you can market online.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
One more. Yes. Evelyn tells us the importance of having online business platform. And then, of course, you have to have strategies for you to feature online. And Nduguliza anasema it's about increasing more sales as well as achieving your goals. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That is music in my ears because that is the exact message that I wanted to pass across. And I'm happy that it's reached across, that we see the importance, that we see the need to do online selling. Let me cross over to Haggai. Haggai?
Many thanks, Sarah. Many thanks, Sarah. So a comment from Dalmas. Online is the new normal. Patrick says, get to online marketing immediately. There is a whole new level of marketing. It is the new norm, new opportunities. And lastly, Global Link. I think I have been ignoring Jumia and Kilimals. Not anymore. Over to you, Sarah.
I love that. Not anymore. So that means that we are passing on that message to you. Now, I'm hearing some things about digital marketing, which is what we're going to do in the next course. 4 things we're going to do. We're going to understand what is digital marketing. Then secondly, we are going to understand why should I use social media in my digital marketing? And the other thing, which platform is best for what? Because different platforms have different focus and emphasis, and then which are the best social media practices. There are a lot of mispractices, and you see this also has a lot to do with the branding of your business. So that's what we're going to consider in the next webinar. Now, what next steps do you need to take? Number one, you need to identify the best way to quickly make use of this online market and begin to make sales. Number two, you need to identify what local resources can help you to do business online. And I think Carol has told us, the Google Plus. And then you need to attend the Marketing Your Business Online. I've just given you a little something to whet your appetite. There are more good things for you. We have given you some resources here, some wonderful resources here, taking digital marketing to the next level. And for your information, here in Kenya, in the whole of Africa, we rank at the top 10 in terms of digital uptake. And you know which cities? Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret. So if you're joining us from those places, those are, we are in the digital space worldwide, and we have been recognized for that. And then there's something about a beginner's guide to digital marketing in Kenya. Please use these resources. They're going to give you more tips and ideas of how you can take your business to the next level. At this point, I want to put a comma there, and I want to invite Moses. Moses, karibu sana, and tell us, is it, I think Moses, is it Moses or Peter? Over to you, Cobank.
I think it's Peter. Peter Gethaka, you're in?
Yes, I am.
Please proceed.
All right. Thank you, Sarah, for that awesome presentation. And I think there's a lot that has been achieved out of the conversation that has happened. With the feedback that has been coming through, I'm actually also reading and seeing the kind of conversations that are going on in the chat. So I think you've majorly done half of my work. So just to say thank you. I wish there's a way we could clap for her. But I think it's just to say that we appreciate what you've spoken to us about. Now, just to take the discussion a bit further, how then do we have a cooperative bank then being part of the team that helps you get your business into a digital space and more into e-commerce? And some of the things I would want to say about cooperative bank is, one, we are really committed to you, our customers, to ensure that you are being able to receive proper funding at this point. And not only the additional funding that you're looking for, but also the aspect about what kind of loan restructuring we would need to do for you and loan repayment holidays. Because we understand that a lot of us in our businesses have been affected by the current scenario, the current pandemic that is going on. There's a huge crisis. And we want to just tell you to support you entrepreneurs and business owners to be able to get through the season and also to help you navigate through the crisis. So out of the gate, the relationship management team that we have, they've helped you grow, they've worked with you. We're also looking at how we can be able to just make payment and collection solutions that are suited for the season. And this is part of the conversation that we are having, because it's a new season that has come up. There's a new opportunity that needs to happen for you in terms of how you provide your product and solutions and how you collect as well, which helps you make sure that your business has a continuous cyclicality. Of course, we're providing you information as it comes to us as well, and the ideas that we have through the MSME online portal and the website. We're also just giving more conversations on social media on the things that need to begin happening so that you can be able to just have your businesses grow. Of course, webinars like this, quite important. They're giving a lot of knowledge. They're growing you. They're making you see things the way you couldn't be able to see them. We always say that when someone stands outside, they're able to see the inside of your business, help you see the inside of your business better. On the CSR front, the bank has donated 100 million to the government for purchase of ventilators, and where we are able to provide more support, we are looking, and of course, once we are advised and we see those areas, then we'll be able to address. Now, just moving on to the next slide. We can move on to the next one. So one of the things
Yes, Peter?
We seem to have lost Peter. Peter, are you there? We seem to have lost you.
all this come with the comments. So that's
Peter, are you there? I think you've said some important things that we did not get, unless the problem is on my end. Fatma, can you hear?
No, I cannot hear Peter.
Yeah, Peter's connectivity seems to be fluctuating.
Is that better? Is that better?
Hi, Moses.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Peter.
Yes.
We lost you for about a minute.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, I think maybe I'm getting a problem with my
Loud and clear.
Awesome. So let me, I think, shift from my headphones to just back to where I was. So I don't know if I'd or at what point I dropped off, and I hope
Maybe you can
there's
go
a
through
slight
the slide again.
2 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, all right. So maybe we can go back to the slide that was more on Corp Bank supporting and committing to MSMEs.
Peter,
Maybe for that, yes.
Peter,
Yes.
I think the slide, you could start from the slide that is on there now. We
Oh,
had
good.
the other
Okay.
part. Whatever is on there now is maybe where you need to start. The route to market.
Excellent. Okay. So what I'd said earlier is that Sarah had spoken a lot about the route to market space on how to provide a product, and we've been very used to the traditional way of doing things, where I mean we have a product or a service and we are providing it through the field or through an outlet that's a shop, or we are calling customers to come and collect the products that we have. Now that is a shift, and there's a huge shift around that, where we are finding more and more businesses providing their product and solution online. So they are more on mobile phones, on the web, and on the tablet. And the shift is really happening, just as Sarah had spoken into. Now, just on to the next slide. So something new is happening. And Haggai, and something new is happening. And what has been happening is that out of the experience we have right now, there's been less contact. The earlier slide, sorry, the one that has something new is happening. There's been less contact that has been experienced between people, not only between you and your customer, but also between people. We've also seen a sudden surge on an easier way of requesting products and services. As people are locked in, there's still an easier way that they're beginning to request for products and services. And every person who is ready for that shift is the one who's benefiting. There's a need for execution speed. So when people are ordering, they're expecting a quicker delivery. Now they're not going to collect the goods they've ordered, like the cake that Sarah spoke about. They're expecting it to be delivered and expecting it to be delivered faster. A safe delivery of what they've purchased, an assured way of payment directly to your account. So you who has provided, you will then want to see a payment coming. You're used to receiving cash, Now there's no cash anymore, it's gone down. So what way do we ensure that we have the benefit of the payment coming to our account? So really there's an entire shift in the marketplace from a physical marketplace to an online marketplace. And this has been accelerated by the aspect that if you've read today's Daily Nation, you'll see that they've also spoken about a reduction in the demand for office space. This is because more and more people are working from home. So what eventually will happen is that a lot of organizations will realize people working from home or remotely will begin to make sense. So when those people are working from home, they will still need to make their orders. They'll still need to purchase. They'll still need someone to come and fix something that is in the house. Those are the goods and services that are going to start being ordered through the new marketplace, through an online shift. Going to the next slide. What we are looking at, the shift really is an online transaction module. So we are looking at where and how our customers can be able to do to sell their products and services, and pretty much that is what we call e-commerce. So e-commerce is an electronic buy and selling platform through an internet banking or through mobile, and subsequent transfer of money and data to fulfill the transaction. So you find that you've got your product somewhere online. It can be on the internet, it can be on your mobile phone. And as someone does a purchase, then you find that there's also a payment that needs to happen to fulfill and finalize on the transaction. You'll be surprised that e-commerce started in 1994, and it started by one gentleman who actually sold a CD. I'm sure you guys still know CDs. He sold a CD online. He put a CD on a website and someone purchased. And that was the initial transaction that happened for e-commerce. And e-commerce can happen on B2C, business to consumer. So business selling to us individuals. It can happen business to business, businesses selling to each other. Consumer to consumer, it could be me selling to George or Anthony a product, or it could be consumer to a business. I could be supplying to a business. Now, why is it important to shift to a digital platform, so to online transactions, to e-commerce? One is you have a bigger range of geography. There is more people who can now buy your product, not only just the people you knew, but anybody else can be able to buy a product from a different location. Your product can be found on a search engine. A search engine is like Google. I would want to task you today, after we finish the webinar, just put your product onto Google and search and see if it can be seen, if anybody knows it. If not, then that is where the shift is happening. Because my product, if I'm selling a glass called Peter Glass, and it's not online, and there's someone else who's selling George Glass, which is online. If someone searches just for glass, George Glass will appear. Yours will not
Hi,
succeed.
Peter. Peter, hi.
Sorry?
There seems to be... Hi.
Hi.
Sarah, can you hear Peter smoothly?
No. And yet he's saying very important things, but we can't hear.
Yes,
Okay.
I think he's back.
Hi, am I clear now? Might be my
Yes,
connection
Peter.
is. Sorry, is that, am I okay now?
Yes, you're okay now.
Yeah, please, the moment that I go offline, do let me know,
Sure.
because I don't know why it keeps dropping.
Please carry on. I think we didn't miss
Yeah,
much.
I think you're the why. The why.
Yes, I was on the why. So the why one is the aspect of geography. So your product is able to be available not only to the clients that know you, but even to more clients out there. So you can find, for example, if I'm selling cake, that if Peter Cake is actually known by only the people that I sell to, then I will have an issue, because if anybody else wants cake, then I have a challenge because it's not out there. The second bit is about the search engine. Google is a search engine. If I have my Peter Cake product on my website or on another website, then what happens is that if somebody searches with the word cake, then there's a potential of my Peter cake being seen and then proceeding to make an order. If my product is not online, then no people will search, but I'll be left out. And remember, now people are buying from home, so they'll do more easier searches to see who can be able to deliver cake to them. Then you have a better profit margin because you have less costs to incur in terms of if you are putting your product on a shop, or you are putting them in the supermarket and you're paying all that cost, that was thinning your profit. So now that changes. And as well, scalability is improved because now more people have visibility to your product. You're able to sell to more people. So you're able to have a better scalability kind of model. You're able to do bargain broadcasts as well as targeted communication. If you feel it is Father's Day and you have a cake for Father's Day, then it's easier for you then to target on Facebook and say, I'm actually giving an offer for Father's Day cake. Easier to pick up. 24/7 availability. You're also able to understand your customers' behavior. You're able to tell they buy more cake at the end of the month more than mid-month. And of course, when unexpected situations like is happening right now, then you're in a better position because your product is more visible and you have better channels to sell your product. So how? I'll not delve into this much because Sarah spoke about it. There's either you have your own website or you've got a marketplace. In our terms, we call that marketplace an aggregator, a product aggregator. So Jumia picks up products and aggregates them in a website, and somebody can be able to pick your product from there. What else do you need? She spoke about being able to collect your payments, and this is where now we play a big role. We are able to pick either from your website, we are able to create an e-commerce channel, what we call an e-commerce checkout platform. So if people want to pay with their cards, with their debit cards, with their credit cards, with their prepaid cards, with their Visa cards, with their MasterCards, they're able to key in their card details, the amount, and a secret code that is given behind the card. Once that comes through, then we give a secret code to them on their phone, which they key in a one-time PIN, and the transaction is then fulfilled. So this then enables you to receive payments not only locally, but also internationally based on card payments. The card payments are made safely, and we settle that amount into your account. The other thing you then need to look at is on your delivery channel, which Sarah spoke into. I'll not talk much into that, but your delivery channel is also quite important because if somebody is buying online, they'll want the product delivered and delivered safely. One very interesting thing is even WhatsApp has become a huge, what was calling a huge product aggregator. We've got people who are also being able to load their product onto WhatsApp and be able to make a product purchase on WhatsApp and make a payment on an e-commerce channel or on mobile money through collection, for example, fulfill the transaction, and you're able to then deliver once you've confirmed that the payment has come. So everything is really going onto mobile or onto your phone, or sorry, onto your computer. And when do you need to do that? I guess it's now, because today when all the world is seeming to come to be in a halt, e-commerce is the only thing that keeps running. Maybe moving to the next conversation. I think that was just to show you the kind of communication that we're doing. We've been doing a bit of communication, especially on social media, on e-commerce, and why it's really important for you to have an e-commerce tool on your website, or even for the person who's aggregating your product. Remember, e-commerce gives you an opportunity to be able to collect better. When you're able to collect better, it means that you have your risk on selling your product is well mitigated, and you also have a capability to then be able to have liquidity for your payments. And just moving into the next slide, how then do you handle your liquidity online? We've got a very good internet banking platform, and we've actually upgraded to a far much better one now. Very easy to work with. Logging in, very simple. Looking at what is on your screens right now, it shows you how easy it is for you to be able to move through your channel, through the channel. You're able to see your account balances very easily. You're able to make your payments very easily. You're able to see the transactions that have happened on your account very easily. So these two go hand in hand. One is an ability to be able to collect your payment online. Two is an ability to be able to pay your suppliers, your employees online. And our online internet banking is quite good. If you move to the next slide, it's quite good because it's got all these bundled potential capabilities for you and opportunities. It's got 24/7 access. It's web-based, meaning you can access it on your phone. We also give you an app that enables you to make the payments or log in through the app. It's very safe. You've got a 3-factor authentication, one-time password sent to you for the transactions that you do, meaning that even if somebody were to be able to get your password and they don't have your phone, they'll not be able to fulfill on any transactions. Remotely, if you want to let someone go because they've done some fraudulent things in your business and they could be able to access your system, you can be able to remotely lock them out. You don't have to write to us and start telling us, oh, lock this person, and you're crossing your fingers. You can be able to lock them out. As I said, you're able to see your account summaries, you're able to make your statements, you're able to consolidate your balances, you're able to see balances and statements from other banks. They can be loaded for you to be able to see. You're able to make internal funds transfers, you're able to make local and international transfers, EFTs, RTGS, STTs. You're able to attach a supporting document in case it is an amount that is large and you want to support what the transaction is about. You're able to create your own standing orders. You're able to retrieve SWIFT confirmations. I know this is usually very key. If you made a payment and there's a SWIFT confirmation that you want to send to your supplier, you're able to do that as well. Moving on to the next slide, and just trying to go through this as quickly as possible. You've got a mobile app. I think I spoke into that. Your utility bill presentation, you're able to make NHIF, NSSF, Kenya Power, KRA payments through the platform. You're able to put in negotiated rates. You're able to pay PesaLink. You're able to do bulk payments, even to prepaid cards. You're able to make payments to vouchers. And you're also able to load what we call e-vouchers for cash pickup. So if you want somebody to pick money from the branch or from the ATM, you can be able to create an e-voucher, give it to them, and they'll be able to get cash out. So really, just in a nutshell, about this aspect, I will not be able to emphasize enough how important it is for you to have an e-commerce checkout where people can be able to pay, and for you to have an internet banking platform where they can be able to do payments. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. So this one really is just an emphasis on what we offer as the bank to you as our clients. We've got the payment solutions, we've got the lending solutions, we've got the transaction solutions. I'm sure you know all of this, so I'll not delve into them. You've got your loans, you've got your asset finance, your mortgage and construction. On the collection side, you've got your M-Pesa collection solutions, you've got your online banking that I've spoken about, your Lipa and M-Pesa termination. So any transaction that you receive on M-Pesa or online or even at the branches or at the agents, they will still hit your account. I think this one is just an overview. We can move on to the next slide. And for the next slide, I think, what are we looking at? What's our call to action? When all is said and done, one is as much and all that Sarah has shared. I think it is really important for us as businesses to digest what she's taken us through in terms of getting our businesses to the next level, in terms of getting our businesses to do online sales and online collections. And we are here to be able to provide the online collections for you as well, in terms of e-commerce, in terms of a checkout for cards, in terms of checkout for mobile. And additionally, we'd want you to engage your relationship manager on this. Just pick your phone, call them, tell them to give you more information about the conversations that we've had today. Let's leverage more on the core bank digital platforms that we have for payments and for transactions to be able to cover on lost or missed opportunities on the offline shop. Let's keep our relationship and branch managers updated on emerging issues in your businesses. If there are any challenges that are going on, I will not, I'll just want to encourage you that if there's a challenge that your business is going through, the first line of action is just for you to come and talk to your relationship manager or your branch manager so that they know that there's a challenge that the business is going through, so that you can be able to understand and see how we can be able to get a solution that will be tailored to be able to help you out during this season. If you need to raise new additional funding, talk to us. We are still lending, and we are still very happy to continue lending because we know your business is progressive, needs to grow, needs support. And the season we are in is just but a season, just for a time. And we'll be able to just get us back into a better level. And finally, keep safe. Even as we continue with our businesses, let's keep safe. Let's take care of our staff as well. So that's as much as I wanted to share. Sorry, I had to rush through the slides because I've seen time as really. I'll just invite Moses to take over, maybe if there's some few questions, and maybe if he wants to just say one or two words.
Thank you, Peter. That was quite good in terms of the delivery. Thank you, Sarah, too. I think yours was also quite clear in terms of the delivery. Maybe as we even go to the question and answer session, Hagai, I would just have wanted to know from my customers whether there is anybody who is in this online business, who amongst our customers is doing online business, and perhaps are they willing to share their experience? Just as you answer the questions, maybe if there is any customer who is willing to share, would want to listen to their voices in terms of them sharing their experience. So, but just before that, you can go to maybe answering the questions that have come through WebEx and even the YouTube channel. Hagai, maybe for Sarah and Peter, stay around so that you can jointly answer the questions. Hagai or Fatma, you have any questions for us?
I'll let Fatma go first. Fatma, please.
Okay. This is a question from a client addressed to you, Moses and Peter. They wanted to know how the restructuring of the loans is being done by the bank. The client says, I was informed by the bank of the large amount that you would be paying after 3 months of holiday. Kindly clarify.
Thank you. Another one? I'll pick that. Peter, I'll pick that.
Okay.
The other one is also about the payment infrastructure. That is the payment infrastructure that Cooperative Bank has or has put in place for the clients to use.
Okay, that goes to Peter.
I think this is almost the same, more or less the same. It also says about online payment links that you have. For example, if I can link it directly so that my clients pay directly into my account.
Thank you. I think let me take mine. Okay, just proceed.
They also wanted more lessons on online banking, and this is to Peter. Thank you.
Okay.
Moses, maybe one last from YouTube.
Yes.
This is Daniel Odero. He's saying joining the sessions for the first time, and would need to know how do I sell my services of construction and access finance from Coop Bank, and the kind of package that will suit my business. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you. I think let me take two. Then my colleague Peter will take the other two. Number one, the first. Let me start with the last one in terms of the customer who joined for the first time and he wants to sell his services on construction and accessing funds to Coop Bank. I think number one is to say thank you for joining. And in terms of now being a service provider to Coop Bank, I think that's that's the angle that I've picked that question from. We have a procurement process. You have a procurement department that does that as a bank. And I would request that you talk to your branch manager to just share what you're looking for. They will be able to guide you accordingly. The funding aspect of it, we have all facilities that are available to a business person, both working capital or investment capital. And by working capital, I mean the day-to-day running of the business. We have overdrafts and term loans. In terms of investment capital, I mean when you perhaps want to buy an asset or an asset, be it a motor vehicle, be it a house, be it some piece of land. We have mortgages, we have asset financing facilities. Then perhaps is to just ask you again, as you see your branch manager on the earlier one, you can get more of that information from that branch manager in terms of the facility that you're looking for. And I think based on what Peter said earlier, is that as a bank we are supporting, we are funding. So don't shy away to say that perhaps we have an issue. Contractors, I think most of you are doing very well in terms of most of them are doing well, and we should be able to meet your needs, customer. The other one, the first one was on the restructure. How are we restructuring? And I think Peter said earlier that we are supporting our existing customers, those who have borrowed from us in terms of restructuring. I appreciate the customer who has talked of saying that he has gotten the restructure, meaning that the discussion we have been having here, that most of you have gone into, have enjoyed those facilities. And the way we approach the restructure as a bank, you remember when COVID came in, none of us had the experience. And I think Central Bank came out saying, all banks came out together saying we are willing to support our customers. As a bank, we took a position to say we'll give our customers a period of 3 months in terms of holiday from repayment. And we approached it in 3 ways. The first one,
Moses?
We seem to have lost him.
Yeah. Peter, are you able to pick the other questions as we wait for Moses to come back? Or
hello,
Yes.
sorry.
Okay, sure.
You lost me at what point, Haggai?
30 seconds ago.
Yeah, you were talking about.
Sorry for that challenge. You lost me at what point? I go back to the answering the restructuring question.
Yes, you're just talking about the restructuring the bank is doing.
Thank you. I'm saying from the bank perspective, we approached it in 3 ways. Number one was to say, if you have the customer would request for restructuring of both P plus I, principal plus interest, and we took a period of 3 months. So that is what the customer would come and say, I would want to pay principal plus interest after a period of 3 months. And you find that maybe if you restructured your facility in May, it means in August then you'll be expected to pay for the 3 months principal plus interest that we suspended. Then number two, the second option was to say, I have some money, my business is running, I would want to pay principal, I want to pay interest and suspend the principal for the 3 months. Meaning that you would come on monthly basis, you'll be paying the interest, and your principal you start paying after the 3 months. That was the second option. The third option was to say, my business income has reduced, and I would want to match my current repayment to the current business income. Meaning I was paying, just as an example, I was paying 100,000, I would want to pay 50,000. And that was given, that again, I think those were the 3 options that were there. For the customer who is asking that question, again, I would also, I would ask them to talk, because he's talked of engaging the relationship person. Please engage the relationship person and pick the appropriate solution among the 3 that I've talked of. We still have an opportunity, because as I said, by the time we are coming up with the solutions, I think none of us was very clear how long this thing will take. So circumstances have changed. For example, if it is a school, by then we thought the school term would continue normally, or perhaps would even continue into September. But circumstances have now changed. We are going into 2021. It means then you have to revisit your request. You have to revisit based on now the new circumstances. So my request is that please revisit your request with your branch manager and your relationship manager, so that now you can maybe get an appropriate solution based on the current situation. Thank you. Maybe Peter, you could pick on the others.
Okay, thanks, Moses. Just I think I'll give this as an example to help how important going online for your goods and services is. When we spoke about construction, one of the questions that came to my mind is, what can we not sell online? Anything that has a price can be sold online. And even for construction, on Facebook for 3 months, I think a group of about over 2,000 people have been following a construction company called Fractional Construction or something. Fractural. They've been constructing a house for 3 months and sending pictures on the progress. Can you imagine the kind of interest that has built in terms of the number of people who have requested for their contacts for that kind of that kind of need? So it's so important to have our products out there for people to know what we are doing and our capabilities. If you go to Facebook, you'll actually see that house. I think now is when they're finalized doing the final touches. Fractural. So anyway, one of the questions that had been asked was, what are the payment infrastructures that we have? The payment infrastructures that we offer, and to answer some other questions that I've seen, actually end up settling into your account directly. And each of those transactions is bit by bit as it comes through, transaction by transaction. So you're able to trace back to who you sold to, whatever you sold to. So they don't just come in as a bulk, but they come in transaction by transaction for you to be able to view, unless you want to request, comes in as a bulk. So able to trace your transactions. Now, what are the kinds of infrastructures you can offer? One is, if you have your website, what we do is we give you what we are calling an e-commerce checkout page. So if someone has bought, for example, five pairs of trousers and they want to check it out, they will just click onto the checkout page. It opens a page for them, whether on their phone or on their computer, where they're able to put in that information for their card, the one-time PIN that goes in, and the transaction is fulfilled. You will then receive your notification, and you will then receive your payment into your account thereafter. So that is one. That is on the e-commerce. The other things they're able to give you is the PDQs. So these are the machines you're able to swipe your card. Put your card, put your PIN and everything, and the payment goes through. We are working on something with the Kenya Bankers Association, where you can be able to just tap your card up to a certain amount of money without having to put your PIN, just to avoid as much contact as possible. So if you have a delivery company that delivers the trousers that you bought or the cake, and the person who is buying does not want to go online, they can go with that machine and the payment will actually be fulfilled. The other one is what we call M-Collection. We are able to give you an M-Pesa collection tool. So as transactions come through, you don't have to go to M-Pesa and get your own till number. You're able to just finalize and do the transaction, and we give you the credit. However, if you already have your till number or your pay bill, we can settle that for you and you receive your payments immediately. You don't have to keep pushing through Safaricom. Then we've also got the branch and the agents. This is more of cash and check. We're able to do the transactions through. So the infrastructure that we give, of course, when you tell us that you want the solution, you're happy with it, we just come and do the creation for you. All you need to do on e-commerce, for example, is just have your technical person who did your website, where they're able to just link and allow for the transaction to happen. So that is as easy as it is. You'll be very surprised that even institutions like churches have been showing so much interest on e-commerce. Why? Because they've been receiving grants, they've been receiving people who send $100, $10, and sending that through a TT is very, very, very expensive. So they prefer to have a checkout page on their website where somebody can be able to give a tithe or an offering directly through that channel. So if you have an international e-commerce site, so for example, if PayPal have been settling for you, then what happens is that you just give CoBank as your account, and once the payments are done, the center settles in. However, The difficult thing about dealing with these international companies is, one, there's FX loss that you incur. Two is that they're usually very expensive in terms of the charges that they'll place on your transaction. So better off dealing with an e-commerce checkout page that is in country. I think that answers the questions that had been asked, unless there's any that needed clarification. Oh yeah, there's one that was about internet banking. Hi, I think, am I still on?
Yes, you are.
Excellent. There's a question about more training about internet banking. What we can do is, if Hagai, I don't know if you can be able to get the contacts of the people who are on this call, we can arrange for another session or offline with them, where we can actually take them through internet banking and what it can do and how to make transactions. But again,
Yes, thanks.
they go hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. I think we can organize another session through Peter, Ndumi, and Moses. Thanks.
All right. Sorry, Peter, are you done?
Yes, I am.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I really want to apologize. We have overshot by 15 minutes. We're supposed to finish at 1:45. However, just in response to Moses's request, I don't know, Hagai or Fatma, if there's any customer who would like to share the experience, maybe we can give them 1 or 2 minutes to share before we bring the webinar to a close. Anything from your end, Fatma?
Not on my end. I'm receiving appreciation basically for the webinar.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hagai.
I think, Sarah, as we're waiting to get any volunteer, there was a challenge to both CoopBank and IFC, maybe to next time invite a client or clients to share their experiences, testimonials. Mm-hmm. So there is a question here. There is a question here from Ray. He's asking whether the restructuring is still on. I think that has been addressed. And the last one from Richard. I am a wellness and fitness coach. How can I get into this this space? I think Sarah, that question goes to you.
Okay. Thank you, Richard, for that question, and that's a very good question. It just reminds me of a question I was asking at some of my relatives who are also in the wellness and fitness. Now, when you look at the trends and you look at what's happening with COVID, with stay at home and so on, and also based on some researches that have been done, there is great need for fitness because people are not, sort of able to exercise, with the closure of gyms and so on. We resorted to, taking walks, and we have had stories of people's gadgets being stolen from them, and they've been mugged and all these other things. And I think, and I know for sure, that right across the world, we are looking for fitness solutions. Now, having said that, there are people who have responded to that, and there are a lot of phone apps. There are phone apps that are helping us, to be able to exercise in the house and so on. And having said that, I love what Peter said. He said, anything with a price can be sold. And I think it's important that even for fitness instructors, that you don't lose communication, you don't lose visibility, you do not lose relevance with your customers, and especially at this time. We expect you to work with us, to hear us, to come up with innovative solutions to give us during this time. And I would like to encourage Richard and all those who are in the fitness space, sector, to also go online and tell us, what are you doing and how we can plug in. So I think there's opportunity for those in the fitness and wellness. Tell us in terms of diet. So it's, yes, the exercising, but also the diet. Help us to eat well. Give us some suggestions. Give us some recipes, and just try and give us solutions on that online platform, and try to track that. I remember somebody who said, you know what you can do, Sarah? You can give yourself 30 minutes of, walking up and down. And I said, I'm up to the challenge. And he told me, when you walk, carry your phone, reach the halfway mark. Just walk until where you reach 15 minutes and then stop there. And I know what he was trying to, he told me, take a picture. I want to see, take a picture and send to me by WhatsApp. I want to see where you are, because you see, he's trying to help me. He's trying to hold me accountable to the exercise, and then turn around and start going back home. And when you reach home, take me the final picture. And I was telling him, you know what? I'm afraid of carrying my phone because it can get lost for various reasons. So I was telling him, and you see, this is where innovation, creativity also come in. And I was asking him, can I please just trust me? I'll take a picture of myself when I'm leaving the house, and I'm going to walk and I'm going to do all those things. And then I'll come back after 30 minutes and I'll take your picture. I mean, I'll take a picture of myself, and you'll see the evidence that I wasn't cheating, because, in fitness, and I know where Richard is coming from. We like cutting corners and taking shortcuts and so on. So I think there's a lot of creativity. We are saying it's not business as usual. We cannot wait for the gyms to open. There's a way that you can still continue to engage your clientele through the WhatsApp, through the YouTube channel. Some of you are authorities in the fitness, in the health and fitness sector. But don't just leave us out there. Engage us through those platforms. And the next webinar is a very exciting one, where we are going to share with you some of the different social media platforms that exist, and how can you use them to express yourself, to share, to network, all those things. And at the end of the day, make sure that you put money in your pocket. I hope I've tried to help Richard in one way or another.
Sarah,
yes.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
borrowing from experiences from our discussions with the schools. We as schools are saying, we have the space. What do we do with the open space, or what do we do with our schools? Mm-hmm. And I remember one of the hints were that maybe they should try and partner with other businesses. And I think gym and fitness would be the most ideal, business to partner with schools which are now closed and they have the space, and it's very easy to keep the social distance, And I think I know of a gym trainer who is currently doing that, doing open air training, and he's marketing his business through the social media. Over to you.
Thank you, Haggai, for that. And that reminds me, when we were having an engagement with the school, I never thought in my wildest dreams that PE, physical education, can be done virtually. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked that there's a way you can engage your students to do PE, physical fitness, through the phone and track them. It's amazing. I think there's so many amazing things that are going on out there, and I think it's just important that we plug in. Finally, Fatma, we need to close the webinar. We need to be time sensitive.
Just one thing for our colleague in the fitness. Richard. We have seen a lot of CDs, Brother Richard, which we buy or we download from YouTube at a fee on fitness. This is an opportunity that you may want to consider. You can also access your clients, and you can actually have a fitness program at a particular point in time. And what they do, they can use their computers or they can use their tabs, and you take them through. So it doesn't, in addition to what Haggai said, because schools don't have much activity, you can use the open air, but you can also engage online. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much, Fatma, for that practical and creative insight that you're giving Richard. You can package it. And then in a CD, if we're being told CDs have been sold since 1994, and you can sell that. And I think I know which Richard this is, and he's an authority in fitness. We really want to challenge you and push you, to take your business to the next level. And I wish you all the very best. I need to wrap this up. We need to bring this to a close. And I want to ask Moses, do you have any final parting shots, or can we close this meeting? I'm so sorry. I really want to apologize to the participants. I know we have overstretched, but I think it was worth it. We are sharing some insights and ideas. I think it is worth it. But we need to bring the session to a close.
Maybe Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah, maybe as you close, have you got any clients? You would want to hear another voice also. Have you got any
Moses?
Yes, please.
Moses?
Yes.
I think it will be good
Yes.
to invite the client in the next session. I mean, in the interest of time, so that we don't rush.
Okay.
We don't rush the presenter, and they
Okay.
also have time to organize their thoughts.
Thank you. Then also, just then to assure our customers that we'll share the materials that have come through. I've seen a lot of comments asking for the material. Visit our MSME portal. That's where we've deposited all the material for the previous websites. But we'll also share this on through the email addresses that you shared with the branches. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you, Sarah, Agai, and team. My colleague Peter, thank you also for sharing your insights. And to my customers, thank you so much for attending.
Thank you very much, Bank. Thank you, IFC. Thank you so much, my technical team. Thank you for our participants who have taken time to join us. And I wish you all the very best as you implement this. You can be very sure that the next webinar we have, I'm going to be asking you what improvements you have made since this webinar. So please get some answers ready and we'll talk more. At this moment, I would like to close off the webinar. Wish you all the very best, a good day ahead of us, and you can feel free to log off. Kwaherini.
Thank you. Kwaherini.